Hi, it's James Harrison here to talk about the next daily drumming influence revisited. Originally posted in 2012. Today it's a drummer probably everybody knows. It is Neil Peart. Neil Peart was the drummer for Rush. He passed a few years ago, and pretty much one of the most recognized drummers in the world as being one of the best in the world. And I became aware of Neil Peart through the album 2112 through friends, and I think my brother might have had it. That was my initial exposure to Rush. I didn't know of them prior to that, but then going backwards, I heard other albums and stuff. And of course, if you pay attention to my perfect album post, you'll see that I posted Hemispheres and Moving Pictures and Signals as perfect albums so far. I obviously became a huge fan of Neil Peart. I actually, when Signals came out and the singing was a little bit lower pitched by Geddy Lee, I prefer his voice on that. And actually, I think some of Neil Peart's best drumming, and a little bit less repetitive, and I say that respectfully, not in a cut down. From Signals on, I felt some of the albums became much more groove oriented, but. Anyway, a huge fan. But going backwards, La Villa Strangiato might be, if I say it correctly, might be one of my favorite tunes ever by Rush. And Hemispheres is certainly one of my favorite albums. There are other albums that are fantastic, and I say there's probably most drummers have stolen or copied something from Neil Peart just by trying to learn particular licks, tricks, like for instance, the intro to Subdivisions, or the intro to YYZ, or the fills from Tom Sawyer, or whatever, trying to steal some ideas. I know that he's been an influence over thousands and thousands and thousands, if not millions, of drummers who follow that progressive rock type thing. Obviously, he was a lyricist and a poet, and I read, I'm drawing a blank, a ghostwriter, that book. I think I still have it. But anyway, to say that he was an influence in the long run would be criminal, because he was. I was just a little bit late to the party, if you want to call it that, and my exposure was 2112, and I went backwards in both directions. From that, I was actually in a jazz fusion group in college with some people, and we tried to do La Villa Strangiato. The group was called Confusion. So anyway, one of the best ever. And again, I say this respectfully, he's not my favorite drummer, but he's one of them, and obviously a huge influence, and that's why he's the drummer of the day, Neil Peart.